Somebody told me when I walked in that they remember me and they were expecting me to laugh, so no pressure. I've got the same show as Jessica on Friday, so we're gonna see how this goes, all right? As Sean said, my name's Bryn. It's spelled B-R-Y-N-N, so weird name to have in like the 80s and 90s because it was super uncommon. So oftentimes people would read it really fast and then they'd say Brian, and I would show up like, surprise, not a boy. At the time I also had a super sweet bowl cut and was a fat kid, so that did not lend itself to me looking more feminine. Any other fat kids, formerly fat kids? Am I the only one? Oh, perfect. So through the last couple of years, I've lost a couple 100 pounds and had the skin removal surgery the whole bit, and thank you. It was horrible, actually. 0 stars. But when you leave, what's awesome is you go through all of that and you leave, and they allow you to keep the crippling shame and body dysmorphia. So I still am a fat kid in my brain, right? Excuse me. So what was crazy about me being a fat kid is I didn't actually know I was fat. Stick with me here, I know. And so here's how I found out. 6th grade, okay? I'm from the north. They have what's called the presidential fitness test. I don't know if you guys have this down here. Yeah, it's a nightmare. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. So it's this thing where you have to like, in gym, you have to like climb a rope and run a mile at a certain time and put your feet in that fucking metal thing and like see how far you can reach over, like all the things you need to be a successful adult, not truly. Right, so I was the kid in gym class who, pretended to be on my period every Friday, and my lesbian gym teacher just thought I had an irregular cycle and a heavy flow. So I'm sure some of you also had the lesbian gym teacher, same bowl cut actually. And she just like sit in the locker room and like watch you change through the blinds in her office because nobody said shit in the 90s, right? And so how the fitness starts is she gets out there and you get lined up in the gym. So boys line, girls line. Brian should be in the boys line, but here I am in the girls line. And this is not like a doctor's office, small, private way. And this is very public, very yell it across the gym, very like recorded on a chart above the water fountain for the year because adults didn't give a shit how we felt about ourselves. And so they start weighing us and yelling things out. So they're like, Beth, 58 pounds, Alexis, 60 pounds, Brian, 120, holy shit, coach, get over here, look at this, And so everybody comes to see the spectacle, and I am unaware, right? So I'm sitting there, and all I care about is this new kid that I see in the boys' line. And I go to school with 80 people, so new kid, tractor beam, draws me right in. And he has typical 90s frosted tips, a crudely tattooed smiley face with the X's for the eyes. He's like smoking Black and Mild behind the tree I used to hide behind when I didn't want to run a mile. So naturally, I'm like, shit, this is right before Valentine's Day. I've got 24 hours to convince him to fall in love with me. And so naturally, I'm planning my outfit, right? I'm like, Guess jeans, maroon from the thrift store, purple silk shirt, Kmart Husky section, there were signs, okay? But then I get to homeroom and I get like right hit in the neck with something, and I pick, it's one of those perfectly folded triangle notes, like the footballs that you guys have these, yeah? And I open it up and it says like, will you be my girlfriend? Check yes or no. Like the words you want to read when you're a 6th grade girl who doesn't know she's fat. So I play it cool, check yes, fold it back up, fucking sail it across back to him like the football player I was born to be. And so I'm like, this is awesome. So I rush home. I didn't also know that we were poor in 6th grade. It was a rough year. And so I was like a whole parent to my little brother. So I throw him a can of Vienna sausages because we can afford nothing but like baby toes and jelly. And that keeps him occupied long enough for me to scrape together all the change I need. I run across the store and I get one of those big Hershey Kisses, you know. And I get to school early and I put it in his locker because I want him to see this foil-clad version of my love for him. And I'm at my locker with all my friends and he's at his locker. And I open my locker and y'all, there's a white box with a red bow and I'm like, oh shit, this is it. And so I'm nothing if not dramatic, so I make this big show of opening everything, you know. And I know I'm getting ready to pull out my first piece of heart-shaped jewelry for my future husband, naturally. And so I reach in there, everybody's watching, and I pull out a white paper packet with red letters that says, Slim Fast. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay, fuck Evan Green, he sucks, we hate him, it's fine, solidarity. But I'm like, oh, fuck, I guess that whole weigh-in thing was legit. And so I hear my guidance counselor running down the hallway to me, and she's like, do you want to talk about your feelings? Are you okay? Like, do you want me to send her to the principal? And I'm like, bitch, I got this. I fucking nailed his ass to the locker, and I'm like, you motherfucker. And guess who got the opening spot on the boys' JV football team? Yeah, Brian got it, So, fast forward, sadly, I didn't marry Evan Green. But I have been with my partner for about 20 years now, which is, you're as shocked as I am, trust me. So I meet him 20 years ago, no plans to get married, okay? And he's this like perfect Southern gentleman. He's kind, he opens the doors, yes ma'am, no sir, zero emotional awareness, the whole package. And I'm very Northern, so I'm like super direct, give zero fucks, very not Baptist. So his parents hate me, so that worked out. So I didn't think 20 years ahead, you know? So a lot changes, and I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of what I wasn't, right? And so the first thing I noticed is fighting changes for sure, okay? Some of you all probably know this, you've been together a long time. At the beginning, ladies help me out. We get our feelings hurt over some really dumb shit, like, spend more time with me. And I'm like, I would give my left arm for some time alone right now. When we're upset early, we do that thing where we need him to know why we're upset, so we don't tell him anything. But we get really sad, and we walk quietly down the hallway, we go to our bed, and we scoot all the way to the farthest 3 inches of the bed, no blankets, because we really want to send the message. And then he comes in 10 minutes later, solid REM cycle, has no idea, right? No clue. So now, I will fucking tell him why I'm pissed in front of Jesus and everybody. I give no shits, he knows. And I saunter down the hallway, taking up all the space, and I lay on the bed and roll up all the blankets like a badass bitch burrito. And I leave him 4 to 6 allotted inches of bare mattress where he can sleep using one of our kids' odd-shaped blankets that never quite cover your shoulders and your feet at the same time. Yeah, so fighting gets better, is what I'm telling you. Sex definitely changes, of course, but I'm in my 40s, I still want to have sex. But it takes some work to keep it spicy, right? But it's doable, so I'm gonna tell you, share a little secret. So recently, my sweet, sweet husband pushes himself out of his comfort zone and buys me some lingerie. And we're playing it a little fast and loose with the term lingerie, if I'm being really honest. But he tried. He scrolls, he scours the internet because he doesn't want to buy a size that will hurt my feelings, right? So fair. And he lands on, you're gonna be so impressed, maybe the sexiest, most like fit for my body type website, Shein. The women are laughing, so those of you that are not Shein shoppers, what you should know is this is a China-made company where you can buy anything for $4, right? So I love nothing if not a deal, so he's speaking my love language, we'll give him that. But he's so excited, so he gives me this bag, and he's like pumped up, and I'm pulling out what appears to be leftover craft supplies, like a shard of ribbon and like a chunk of lace, and I'm like, oh, okay. I need photographic evidence, step-by-step instructions, or I'm not going to get into any of this, you know. But I'm dedicated, so I take it to the bathroom, and he goes, put on the white one, and I'm like, okay. So I get out this fishnet number, and I'm processing still. Clearly, apparently, my husband of 100 years wants me to dress like an Asian prostitute, so, okay, no shame. And so I try to squeeze my size 9, 170 lbs into this fishnet, and it is not working out, okay? I get it to here, maybe, and my thigh meat, y'all, is pouring out of every hole that this thing has, right? It is not expanding. to the extent that it needs to, right? And I'm telling myself, you know, it's because this is made for tiny Asian women who still practice foot binding. It's gonna be okay. And I stick my head out, you know, because I'm thinking, my leg looks like an overcooked Christmas ham that's just like mercilessly tied too tight with a white string. And he's so excited, and I was like, okay. And he goes, this one's so important and so special because it's something that lets me see you. And I know sometimes you get insecure and want to have sex in the dark. And I was like, what? And he says, because it glows in the dark. Aww. Really? Are you kidding? Yeah, so I guess how I'm encouraged is you can go from a wildly naive, unaware, chubby-looking man girl in middle school to someone who's apparently confident enough to have skimpy lingerie just strapped right to here and just strut that shit out under a black light, like keeping that spice, you guys. So, thanks so much.